Now, the definite article can also be used in a variety of instances depending on what we are trying to promote in terms of the meaning. Now, if you see, for example, do English people work hard? What do we mean here? We are talking about people of England, not people who speak English, right? So, do English people work hard? Yes, that's fine. Do you like black coffee? You get the meaning? Right? Now compare this sentence with do the English work hard? I can even say do the English people work hard? No harm done. Alright, what do we mean here? We mean, or rather we refer to the particular group of people, or rather the particular nationality of people called people of England. So therefore we say, do the English work hard? We can do that. Alright, so therefore the meaning changes. Do English people work hard is merely a rhetorical question. Alright, do the English people work hard? We are specifying on English, or rather the people of England. Do you like black coffee? Could be any coffee in general. I am just asking for your preference. Do you like black coffee? But I can say something like, did you like the black coffee we had yesterday? Now what is the difference here? When we say, do you like black coffee, we are merely talking about our preference. However, when you say, did you like the black coffee we had yesterday, we are particularly referring to the coffee that we had yesterday, and therefore the definite article is required. Now take an instance of another rule that is relevant when we are talking about the definite article. Since we started with English and people of England, let's take a look at definite article plus nationality of people. What is the nationality of the English people? The nationality of the English people is England. Alright, so therefore, let's take a look at this. Now, if we take a look at the rule here, let's take an example. Say the plus nationality. For example, the French are brilliant. The French are brilliant. Can I say the French is brilliant? Obviously, I cannot say the French is brilliant, because here, then I'll have to say French language. Correct? So, because here we are referring to the nationality of people as such. We are talking about people. So, therefore, the French we use, because French is considered as a plural noun, and therefore it can take a definitive article. Now, does this mean that every plural noun definitely has a definite article? The dogs, something like that? Not necessarily so, but in case of, for now, just take this one particular point. Don't worry too much about exceptions. Just take this one particular point and say the plus nationality. So, you can say the Germans are technologically advanced. Now you can say something like this. You can say the Germans are technologically advanced. So the plus nationality, that means when you're referring to people of the country, not a country, sorry, it should be people of the country. So therefore, when you're referring to the people of a country, then it should be the French. It cannot be French are brilliant. I can say French is a beautiful language, not the French is a beautiful language. Alright, so when we are referring to people, when we are referring to nationality, then we can use a definitive article. Now, where else can we use the definite article? There are lots of instances where we can use definite article. Now, for example, if we take something like oceans, do we use a definite article? For example, there is Indian Ocean. or maybe we can say Atlantic Ocean. So in the front of Indian Ocean or Atlantic Ocean, it is necessary to use a definitive article. You can also say the Red Sea. You can also say the Caspian River. We can also say something like the Nile is the longest river in the world. Whenever we are talking about something that is unique or one of its kind, then we can use definitive article the, especially in terms of oceans, mountains. We can talk about seas, rivers. We can talk about some river like the Nile. Nile is the longest river in the world. Now, can you read the sentence without the definite article? Now, if you see Nile is the longest river in the world, doesn't sound that incorrect, but it would be appropriate to put the definite article before the Nile, simply because in this particular case, we are talking about the uniqueness of the Nile. So, therefore, the as an article is absolutely necessary for this particular sentence. Now, the Caspian River or the Caspian Sea, for example, I got that fact wrong, the Caspian Sea, the Red Sea, I can do that, right? Now, like I mentioned a minute ago, we can also use an article before mountains, but not before individual mountains. Now, say for example, I can say the Himalayas are vast. I have to say the Himalayas are vast. I cannot say Himalayas are vast. All right. Why do I have to say the? I have to say the simply because this is a range of mountains. It is a group of mountains. So whenever there are groups of mountains involved, we use the definite article the. In other words, can we say something like the Alps are in Switzerland? Yes, of course, we can say something like this because the Alps are also a range of mountains. But compare this with an individual mountain peak. Now, since we're talking about the Himalayas, let us see if we cannot talk about Mount Everest. Now, do I have to say the Mount Everest is the tallest peak? No, I cannot say the Mount Everest, but I have to say Mount Everest is the tallest peak in the world. All right, because Mount Everest is not a group of mountains, but Mount Everest is an individual mountain peak. So when it comes to mountains, if it is a range of mountains, then we can use the definite article the. But if it is an individual mountain, then definite article is not used. Now, I am deliberately simplifying this by taking each and every point here because most of us are in doubt as to how to use or when to use. So, let's take it bit by bit and not try to do too much at the same time so that we don't confuse and become confused about the usage of whatever we are learning now. So, for now, what can you remember? You can remember that the is used for something in particular, not something in general. The is used for a range of mountains. Whenever we want to name a range of mountains, we have to talk about the definitive article. Whenever we talk about individual mountains, we cannot use a definitive article because obviously again the individual mountain is individual It is one of its kind, therefore there is no necessity for the definite article. If before oceans and seas, we use a definite article. We say the Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean, the Caspian Sea, and for example, if there is a river like the Nile, we say the Nile is the longest river in the world. All right. Now let's take a look at the sun is a star. What is the meaning here? The sun is one of its kind. Sun is star, can I say that? Obviously no, it does not sound correct because we are nicely omitting the articles. So let us say the sun, one sun only. But why do we say the sun is a star? Of the millions of stars in the galaxy, the sun is unique. Alright, of the millions of stars in the galaxy, the sun is one of them, or the sun is unique because the sun is one of its kind. A star because stars are many. This is the kind of importance that we have for the definite article. Particularity, always think of, when you're thinking of definite article, the, think of whether you want to generalize it, whether it is very common or general, and think of whether it is something in particular. If you think something is in particular, then you need to refer to the definite article in most cases. If you think it is not in particular, then you need not use the definite article. This is the basic rule, basic fundamental rule that we have to remember with the definite article.